Did a client ever say, "Tell me about yourself," and your mind went blank? Welcome back to Career English Podcast. I'm James, and that's Alex. Today, 5 English words to talk about your background and your experience. By the end, you'll know how to introduce yourself in any client call without panic.
Oh, this is so real for me. Last week, I had a video call with a client from Canada, and the first thing he said was, "So, tell me about yourself." I just froze. I didn't know where to start with my background or my experience.
That happens to so many people. So let's hear how you tried to answer. Walk me through what you said on that call, and don't worry about the small mistakes. We'll fix them together as we go.
Okay, I said something like, "Hi, I want to introduce me. I have experience in social media, and my main skill is writing posts." Then I said my last role was at a small agency. But honestly, it felt messy and too fast.
That's not bad at all for a first try. You used 4 good words already: introduce, experience, skill, and role. But one small thing, you said introduce me. We say introduce myself. I'll come back to that because it's a common slip.
See, that's the part that scares me. I mix up these words under pressure, and clients in different time zones often want a quick, clear answer, not a long story about my whole background.
You're right, and that's the goal today. Short, clear, confident. So let's start with our first word, background. Your background is your past. It's your study and your work history together. You can say, "My background is in design," and the client understands your past in one line.
Wait, let me push back on that one. Is background the same as experience? They feel like the same word to me, and I never know which one to use first in a call.
Good thinking, and they are different. Background is the big picture of your past, your field, and your study. Experience is the actual work you did and the skills you got from it. So your background is design, but your experience is 3 years making logos for clients.
Okay, that helps. So my background is marketing, but my experience is running real campaigns for international teams. I built skills like writing and planning while doing that work. Did I use both words right this time?
Yes, perfectly. You use background for the field and experience for the real work. Now the second word, experience again. Notice we say, "I have experience," not "I have experiences," when we talk about it in general. Experience here is uncountable, like water.
Oh, that's a trap. On Upwork, I see people write, "I have many experiences," and it sounds a little wrong. So for a client, I should say, "I have 5 years of experience," and keep it as one word, no S.
Exactly that. Now word 3, introduce. We use introduce to tell someone who you are for the first time. The key is introduce myself. At the start of a call, you say, "Let me introduce myself," and then you give your background and experience in a few lines.
So introduce myself, not introduce me. I keep saying it wrong. Can I also introduce other people, like my teammate on a group client call?
Yes, you can. You introduce yourself first, then you introduce your teammate. You might say, "Let me introduce Maria. She handles our design work." So introduce works for you and for other people on the team. It opens the whole conversation.
Good, that's clear now. Let's do word 4, skill. A skill is one thing you can do well, like writing, coding, or speaking English. I think clients love hearing about skills more than long study stories.
You're right, clients care about skills because skills solve their problem. You can list 2 or 3 skills after your background. For example, my main skills are writing and editing. Keep it short, name the skills that match the job, and stop there.
And the last word is role. My role is my job or my part in a team. So I can say, "In my last role, I managed 2 clients." That tells them what I actually did.
That's a strong sentence. Role is great because it shows your real work. You can connect everything. My background is marketing, my main skill is copywriting, and in my last role, I led a small team. 3 words, 1 clear answer.
Let's practice that one together. Try saying this with me. I'll say it once, then you say it after me in your own voice. My background is design, and my main skill is making clean logos. Slow and calm, like you mean it.
Nice work. The reason we practice this slowly is because clients judge your confidence in the first 10 seconds. When you say your background and your skill clearly, the client trusts you. A calm, slow voice sounds more professional than a fast, nervous one.
Okay, let me try a full mini scene now. Imagine I'm on a discovery call with a startup from Germany. They ask me to introduce myself. I take a breath and start. Ready?
Go for it. I'll be the client listening. Give me your background, your experience, your skills, and your last role, all in a few short lines. Take your time and keep it natural, like a real call.
Hi, thanks for the call. Let me introduce myself. My background is in social media marketing, and I have 4 years of experience with international teams. My main skills are content writing and ad planning. In my last role, I grew one client's sales by 30%.
That was excellent. You used introduce, background, experience, skills, and role, all in one smooth answer. As your client, I already trust you. Notice you didn't say your whole life story. You picked the experience and the role that matched the job.
Thanks. It feels so much better with a clear order. Background first, then experience, then skills, then the role. But what if a client asks a follow-up about my background that I'm not ready for?
Then you stay calm and answer with one skill or one role example. You can say, in my last role, I learned that skill quickly. Always bring it back to your experience and your skills. That keeps your answer strong and on topic.
That's a good safety move. So even a hard question is just a chance to show another skill. I feel ready to introduce myself on my next client call without freezing this time.
Let me put it all together one more time for everyone. On any client call, you introduce yourself, you give your background, you share your real experience, you name 2 skills, and you mention your last role. 5 words, 1 calm answer, and the client feels safe to hire you.
Let's give the listeners one last line to copy. Try this with me. Let me introduce myself. My background is design, and in my last role, I used my writing skill every day. Say it out loud, your voice, your experience.
Beautiful. If you want more English for your freelance career, please subscribe. It really helps us make more episodes like this one. Next episode, we go further into interviews, and we'll learn how to answer, what are your strengths and weaknesses without sounding rude?
I can't wait for that one, because weaknesses are so hard to talk about politely. So practice your background, your experience, your skills, and your role today. Write your own answer and read it out loud a few times before your next call.
Great advice. Pick your 5 words, write 2 clear sentences, and say them until they feel easy. Try this in your next email. Come back next episode and tell us how it went.